A would-be assassin tried to shoot up the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and this took place this weekend, carried out by Cole Thomas Allen. Now, you can criticize people for not doing their job super effectively, for maybe missing some security measures to be taken. Got it. Understood. But that shouldn't take us away from the primary component here, that this was carried out by, here's what we know, Cole Thomas Allen, California leftist, 31 years old. He was a tutor, amateur video game developer. He had attended No Kings. That's on the record. He donated to Kamala. He was a radical leftist. He wrote a manifesto. This is a pretty common thread that we see with a lot of these people. And if you cannot see that the problem here with this violence, this rash of violence, political violence in this country, is almost entirely a leftist problem, that the problem is progressives, then I don't know what to tell you. You've already made up your mind.
It was a light-skinned brother teacher leftist. He came from California. If you can't see that the problem is progressives, then I don't really know what to say.
All right, that's fun. There's, clear palette. Do you have the claim truth stinger? Because I think we should hit that.
Yes.
Okay, because that's what we know.
So one of the reasons that I keep coming back to Steven Crowder is because he's one of the few very reasonable voices in America. So we know that the left is violent, and they reward people who carry out the dirty work of violence with social acceptance and glorification. So they are dangerous. There's no doubt about that. But somehow, I feel more betrayed by the conspiracy right, or the Marxist right, as Steven Crowder puts it, because they've not only turned their back on Trump, but they're also saying the exact same thing from the exact same angle as the left at the same time, almost at the same time, together, concurrently. And to me, they are the ones that seem orchestrated by an entity. I'm not sure who. I don't have any evidence, but Steven Crowder always attacks this problem head on, and he's the only one that's singing about it that I know of. So let's have a watch.
We'll get through some other things that we know, but I really want to get through some of the claims that are being made out there. You guys have seen these?
Yep.
Which one would you say, before we get is the most aggravating?
The Jews under the ballroom.
Jews under the ballroom?
Yeah. I don't know how else to say it.
Caroline Levitt is in on it, is probably the most ridiculous to me, because at least the ballroom one is people trying to be funny.
I don't think it is.
Oh, no, it's not people trying to be funny.
I think it's
no, there are people who actually believe it.
No.
There are people who, because see, you're reasonable, so you think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what's under there? McDonald's? Like, what's going on?
And by the way, I already hear it. How's the $7,000 you're being paid by Israel? Let me be really clear. AIPAC can go screw themselves with a wire brush. I don't think we should send any money to Israel at all. I think we should only work with them if our interests align.
There you go.
Otherwise, take care of your own shit. Got it? Is that clear? Okay, now let's get to the claim truths regarding these events. First claim. And again, we've just taken the ones that have been shared that have reached tens of millions of people at least, because we know that people are going to run with this, just like we saw with completely refuted conspiracies regarding Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying we have all the answers. What I am saying is that some people make claims, and we have the definitive answer that it's a false claim. Does that make sense? Here's the claim. Caroline Levitt. Carolyn, I don't know, I got to think about that. She's in on it.
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
There it is.
Everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself.
I saw this as well, and I knew it was going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be going viral. But I mean, the press secretary saying that phrase, it's such a common phrase. And not only that, she's complimenting Trump in a really humble manner, in my intuition. She's complimenting and she has deference towards Trump by the way that she talks about his writing. So I don't know what people are talking about. People are so desperate to turn anything into virality and into their narrative. It's kind of sad.
So I know what you're thinking. That's the reason. That's the reason. Millions of posts because she said shots fired. Let me give you a left example. Check the references. We provide them every show, 11 a.m. Eastern. Democratic strategist John Cooper. That's one hell of a coincidence, isn't it? No, it's not, dummy. It's not a coincidence at all. It's a very common phrase that's used. Yeah. Let's go to the Marxist right example. You cannot find daylight between the left and these people who claim to be on the right. This is Truth Seeker on X wrote, Carolyn Levitt said there would be shots fired before the Correspondents' Dinner. You are watching a WWE script. Left, Marxist right, there is no difference. And by the way, they're remarkably similar in retardation. The truth, though, is that WWE Caroline Levitt would be objectively awesome.
Yeah. Hey, that's 2-on-1, buddy. That's not fair. Come on, that's not a tag team fight. Come on.
Here is the truth. Okay?
Actual truth.
Shots fired is an extremely common phrase. It's used all the time. This is stupid and nobody should believe it, but people believe it because, I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. Let me give you some examples. This collage includes, I believe, 8. Here's an article. Pope Leo fires new shots in battle with Trump. Shots fired. Iran's top 5 fiercest Trump put-downs. Shots fired in first GOP debate of NH-01 primary. Like, people going shots fired means that they knew about this. Those are people who are pushing this are hoping you're stupid. And they're at the point where they're trying to ensure that you become more stupid.
That's something people say on X all the time, too, when somebody's like a sick burn or something like that. Oh, shots fired. It's like, oh, come on.
I mean, it's a roast. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you get the whole thing?
It would be like me saying, it'd be like me saying, I promise, cross my heart, and I get shot in the chest. People go, he knew he was going to die, the Jews. By the way, if I get killed, the Jews probably didn't do it.
There's plenty of other people in line.
Plenty. I would be willing to bet Islam or radical leftists. So if you're looking for a place to look, if something happens to me, I'm just telling, just remember this. Look at leftists and look at Islam. And then there are probably some, angry ladies. All right. Here's the other video that was used as further evidence. Let's break that down. Evidence. No, we don't need to break. This is not evidence, but this is what the left and the Marxist right, they claim evidence. What they really mean is they state a fact and then discuss how they feel about it. So they shared this to say, this is evidence. This is an interview on Fox News. Someone was calling it, which shows that Carolyn Levitt was in on the, quote, false flag. This has almost 6 million plays as of the time of this broadcast.
I want to just quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me. And, right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
That's clearly Caroline Levitt taking part in an assassination.
Sounds like we lost Aisha's phone there. And this happens, by the way, especially when you have so many people attempting to utilize the same cell service at the same time.
Yeah.
That's evidence of something?
That's evidence. 6 million plays. 6 million views on that. And then if you added up tens of millions of views from other people who've clipped it, who've cut it and go, see? Yeah. And then they combine that with Caroline Levitt saying shots fired. And then I've seen people go, this is the sign of the beast, 666. So
it's 3.
The woman was cut off when she's giving an interview, and she wrote on X, she's a reporter, she said, our calls were dropping because there's barely any service in that ballroom. To finish the story, he was telling me to be careful with my own safety because the world is crazy.
Yeah, so I haven't heard this one. I mean, I'm not even going to comment on it. But again, there's value in Steven Crowder talking about it because people are this dumb. I mean, things like this will go 10 million views. I mean, it's pretty concerning, don't you think?
There you go. No, we couldn't just believe that.
Yeah. She went on to say in that post, by the way, which is what other people and my father have told me recently.
Yes.
Lots of people are saying, I need to be careful. It's like what we told you after Charlie and way before Charlie when you had a fatwa put out on you.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean that I was a part of the fatwa, though it might be.
I don't know. I think it's more believable that Caroline Levitt's old husband just gave away some secret information to a stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For no reason. That's what I think.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people out there believe that. You guys let me know. You guys let me know which one you think is the most absurd out there. By the way, thank you for the raid, Dan. Appreciate it. Welcome. Next claim. And I don't have a dog in this fight. I've never once appeared at a TP USA event. I have never received $1 from nonprofit organizations like them. That's by design. We want to be completely independent. I will tell you my personal opinion. I don't believe that Erica Kirk had anything to do with killing her husband. That's my opinion. Okay? Good news is we're going to have a trial. But now you have idiots on the left and the Marxist right. By the way, I know I kind of repeat myself, but it's to make a point today. Saying that this proves Erica was faking her reaction. She was fake crying because she glances at the camera.
I just want to go find
Now, look, I also understand that people can say certain reactions are performative. This is not one of those times. I would be willing to bet that someone who's been through what she has been through and then had shots fired, and at this point they don't know what the situation is. I can't imagine a woman who wouldn't be crying. And I can't imagine a woman who would not glance at a camera that's being held up in her face while she's walking there. She didn't stop and pose for the camera. This wasn't set up. They clearly caught her amidst a reaction that was already taking place when no cameras were present.
Also, how does that prove that she was involved at all? Like, even if she was that vain and wanted the attention, there could be two separate things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Well, we'll get to that component of it, but it's paper thin. But some people will believe it. Some people believe it. Here's an example from the left saying it's very clear that she's fake crying because these people are demons and you should be better than this.
I just want to go find
I just want to go home. I just need to leave.
That's not Ashley St. Clair?
I just want to go.
No, a different cross-eyed lady.
I just want to go find
So I didn't see that skit until now, but that's pretty disgusting.
Now, here's a Marxist right example. Tell me the difference. Liger, who, by the way, is part of the American Communist Party, but they claim to be anti-woke, so you can say they're MAGA. He wrote, very weird that another assignation attempt occurs at a time when, I think they meant assassination, when Trump's popularity is at an all-time low. Then the paid influencers come out in droves asking people to pray for him and put aside their differences to support him. Then Erica Kirk starts crying again. It's all very weird. Hey, hold on a second. Maybe the most logical conclusion to draw is like after Butler and after Charlie Kirk, people go, hey, there are folks out there who want to kill you. You used to think it was political disagreements. The left now wants you dead. They tell everybody that you're a fascist, that you're a Nazi, that you're kidnapping children, right, and you're support of ICE. And some radicals actually go out and act on that. So guys, maybe we should put aside some of these minor policy differences and understand the enemy that we're facing. Maybe that's a more reasonable conclusion. No. It all must be some kind of collusion that everyone is paid to notice an assassination attempt. That everyone is paid to say there's a greater threat than, for example, your stance right now on the timeline of Iran. Or two things can be true. You can have an opinion on that and understand that domestically in this country, there is an active violent threat known as the American political left. Erica crying somehow has to, it's all very weird. Well, what does that mean? Again, it's just Jesse Ventura.
I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
Does jet fuel melt steel beams, huh? Tough guy?
Do you have an answer?
I'm just asking questions.
Must be nice to never have to provide an answer. Here's what I think. She's a widow. For a very long time, we'd be like, hey, and yeah, I think she should probably leave the public eye. I don't think she should be in front of the cameras. I don't think she should be there. I think she's probably processing a lot. I
totally agree. If she stays at home, people will shut up about her. And she probably should just take it all in at home and with her kids.
That I am never on camera for days on end if I lose a loved one. I'd probably be incredibly unstable and all over the map. My emotions would be all over the place. I think, how about everyone just lay off a little bit? Or at least lay off unless you have irrefutable facts that show she's done something really evil.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're being really evil. Does that make sense?
I agree. Like, Erica Kirk is weird and wooden on camera. She's new to the scene, so she doesn't know how to behave, and she gets a lot of hate, and she behaves weirdly on camera, so the left and the Marxist right will just go after and give it to her. So it is unfair. They are literally trying to destroy every last bit of the reputation that Charlie built for her family, for his family and her family. And it's really good that someone says it out loud, like how Steven Crowder is, because I think intuitively a lot of us feel this way, but we haven't heard anyone talk like this.
Because here's the truth. The woman is 7 months removed from having her husband murdered on camera. And imagine if you are Erica Kirk and you saw the video. Everyone here see the video? You see the video of the blood hemorrhaging out of Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw it. There are a bunch of people out there who say, why was there no blood? Why? Because bad actors online know that you can't watch the tape in most places on the internet. Now you have to go to the dark web. It was rightfully scrubbed. So they tell you there was no blood. This woman saw it. This woman had to go see the body. This woman has to be surrounded by security because there is still an active threat, not just from the left anymore, but from the Marxists on the right, who think that she's a murderer. Here are some other videos that you'll see on X, spreading around to, by the way, millions and millions and millions of plays, 15 million at the time of this broadcast, insinuating, because
Just asking questions there, buddy.
insinuating that Erica must have been in on it. $14.8 million plays. Is it possible that she was scratching her fucking chin? The Jews. This is Suleiman Ahmed wrote, why was Cole Allen searched in Israel 12 hours before attempted assassination? Marxist right example, Isabella Moody wrote, Israel has a Google search for Cole Thomas Allen. Coincidence? I'm sure. Here's the truth. These people are either retarded or hoping that you are retarded. This is not me trying to silence people because I'm working for the man. This is me telling you. This is our business. Google Analytics, especially what's publicly available, is not specific to the hour or to the minute. You get artifacts, you get timelines that don't exactly match up. It takes a while for it to come in. Also, the search spike in Israel didn't take place until it was Saturday night in DC. Time zones, you silly bitches. Didn't we learn this with the Egyptian plane thing?
No, apparently not. Apparently people just take what somebody else says and say, oh, that's true. I can't believe it. It must be the Jews again.
Here's a good litmus test. If you were presented with something that would seem so freaking clear that if it were submitted in a court of law and was true, the case is done, there's a good chance it's not true. There's a good chance it's not true.
I think this litmus test is key. It's brutal, and it should be tattooed on the Marxist right's forehead. If a piece of evidence is so perfect that submitting it in court would close the case instantly, it's probably fake. And I think genuinely, like even me, I'm not immune to this, because if I spend enough time on Twitter, I get immersed in these materials and these propaganda. So I'm sure the conspiracy theory crowd, they're aware of it, so they know exactly how to play it. But we need to remember to use this litmus test ourselves, and also test it rigorously against the Marxist right, because we're still sort of fond of them. Like it's hard to it's hard to be reasonable when it comes to what they say. So that's maybe why I keep coming back to Steven Crowder as well, because he reinforces what I believe against the massive tide on X. You know what I mean?
It means that someone has no idea what they're doing. Because if I could walk into court and prove and go, look, there was an exponential surge in traffic for this man's name before the assassination took place in Israel. Here you go, 8 hours before. Nowhere in nature does that happen. They'd go, okay, now we're going to look into this. Of course, that's not what happened, because that brings us to claim 4. On the other side, if the Jews did it, it was Iran. Wall Street Apes wrote, wow, Iran was searching for the new Donald Trump assassins named Cole Thomas Allen this morning before the assassination attempt happened. Google has just scrubbed this data and is now no longer allowing results for Iran with the assassin's name, the cover-up. The truth? See my response there on Israel, again, just to be clear.
Jeez.
Yeah. Time zones and Google Analytics is not meant to be robust enough to be down to the minute. We had this happen, by the way. The searches looked like they took place before the Vox apocalypse, before we were demonetized. They took place afterwards. It actually affected Google's stock. I've lived through it, just like I've lived through having to have security because of threats coming from the left. You can say that it's all staged, a false flag, but we've lived it, and you've observed it. There's the empirical, and then there's the anecdotal. In this case, both match up. Anything else? Anything else anyone want to add? You know, you've had to work. We all have to work with Google Analytics, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh well, this is
It's one of those things that I look at. That it's always it's like the thing that's available on every conspiracy theory is like a Google Analytics chart from somebody. Half the time it's completely made up. The other half the time people are just misunderstanding what the chart is there for and what Google is providing that information for.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And I can hear, why? Why don't you want these questions asked? No, it's not that I don't want questions asked.
Ask them.
It's that I want the right questions asked, and I want to get truthful answers. Hey, was this person a radicalized leftist? Oh, seems like it. Hey, does this person have any Oh, looks like it. Same thing with the Nashville Manifesto.
Yeah.
We did so much digging, we were threatened with a lawsuit by the FBI because we said, this transgender shooter, a lot of information isn't out there. Let's do some digging. Let's send in our undercover. Oh, seems like this person deeply hated Christian, cisgender white people. Got to it because we asked the right questions and we gave you the right information.
Right. They're not even asking questions, though. They're just making a statement.
Yeah.
That post is to make a statement like, oh, it's a big coincidence. Again, well, I never said it was, is what they'll say afterwards. But of course, that's what you mean. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
And to act as though all opinions are the same, as though they all have the same level of validity. When we did the Charlie Kirk, we went through it. We go, look, here's what we know. We had a check. Here's what we know. Here's what we don't know. Here's a question mark. People go, how did he get up there, reassemble, disassemble a rifle, get up there, reassemble a rifle, disassemble it, get down, but leave a screwdriver up there and reassemble it in the woods. Like, no, well, that's not true. That never happened. That was never alleged to have happened. You're just that someone made that up and you believe it. But people will continue and go, sure, you can have an opinion. It could also be wrong. It can be factually wrong. No one's forbidding you from having it. I'm just asking that we all do better. Here's not an opinion. Radical leftist with a manifesto carried out a violent action, very much at the behest of the left, demanding that their people carry out violent actions. That's not a leap. Were you about to?
No, sorry. I was just giving hand signals over here.
Oh, yeah. You and my palm pistol will be aimed at Gerald. My lemon squeezer.
Oh, boy. Don't do it.
Here's the next claim. Again, all references, 11 a.m. every weekday. We give them to you. If we're wrong, please let us know. This was all staged to get a new ballroom. Here's an example from the left. Robert Evans. Using your second Reichstag fire-style opportunity to justify a ballroom is a wild move. Crazy thing is justify a ballroom that he would pay for. So you go, that's silly. That's stupid, right? Well, here's the Marxist right example.
It's worse.
Ian Carroll. They didn't go to all this trouble to build a ballroom. They went to all this trouble to build whatever they're putting underneath the ballroom. And we are about to let Mossad build Lord knows what underneath the White House. Trump making Clinton look like an amateur. Now, this guy doesn't have a whole lot of background. Seems like he was a leftist before this. Any evidence? There's none provided. Just, I bet you Mossad is doing something under the ballroom. Okay, cool.
No, with Ian Carroll, it's he heard from a guy who knew a guy who talked to a lady who knows a person that works at the White House 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Someone who was at 31 Flavors last night.
It's worse. It's actually in response to a Stu Peters tweet that introduces you to the architect who happens to be Jewish. And because he's Jewish, therefore it must mean, and this is apparently like a renowned DC architect. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it must be because.
So there must be Jewish establishments under everything.
They don't do anything unless they're building tunnels.
That's why the reflecting pool is getting painted blue.
Yeah.
For the Jew blue.
I'm not even going to address it because it's too ridiculous to think that people believe this.
And I know someone's going to watch it and go, well, what about these? I'm going to point to some tunnels that were made by Jewish people. I'm sure that there are some. I'm sure that there are some. They exist. Okay, all right. I get it. I'm just asking, what's the evidence right here that there are Jews in Mossad trying to build something under the ballroom that Donald Trump has been asking for and will pay for himself? What is the evidence? I have seen none provided. I have plenty of evidence that this person is a long-standing radical leftist who is carrying out an agenda. And I have plenty of evidence that that is directly in line with the rhetoric we see from the left. Here's a left example. Hoodlum wrote, our brave Stephen Miller is using his pregnant wife as a human shield. Here's a Marxist right example. Some guy named Adam saying, Stephen Miller's first priority was to cower behind a Secret Service agent despite having a pregnant wife. Okay.
Total shill.
And this, I'm just telling you this because either these people are so stupid and so lazy, they didn't click one time and watch the video that I'm about to show you, or they're lying to you. They have to be so stupid and lazy that they should never be respected as journalists going forward until they've done a lot of due diligence and made up for their misdeeds, or they're lying to you because here's the truth, and it's video truth clearly shows that he was protecting his wife the entire time to the best of his ability. Here you go. There you go. They're both holding her. Look, he doesn't know where the thread is, so he's trying to hold her as close as humanly possible.
I think that guy snuck a butt feel.
Well,
I think that old guy just snuck a little tap there.
He was like, I just felt like I was in the moment.
What an asshole.
The reason, that guy deserves credit. I don't even know Stephen Miller. I don't even know that I would like him if I knew him.
I'm glad Steven Crowder played that clip because I've seen that screenshot and I've seen what kind of jokes people are cracking and it wasn't funny. By the way, I'm Peacemaker. If you enjoyed this clip, follow for more. I'll see you on the next one.